All right. Hey everyone, Desiree here. I'm finally going to talk about my study that I conducted back in September 2016. For those who don't know, what I did was because I've been a massage therapist for 4 years, I've always wanted to build a study. And in the study, what I did was for a period of 3 to 4 months, I allowed 8 people 10 massages to come regularly, which is every once or 2 weeks. And throughout the massages, I'm evaluating their sleep, their diet, their exercise, their water intake, their stress management, the way they cope with certain situations, to see if receiving the massages regularly actually help them help improve their quality of life, no matter what aspect of it is. Um, so in this presentation, this I will talk about 3 different parts. First is the reasons why people are encouraged to come get massages. Second, I'm going to talk about the common characteristics found in my subjects that sort of hinder the relevance of my research or diminish the efficiency of my data. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about the common changes I was able to evaluate and effect on my subjects. So first, reasons that encourage my clients to come get massages. One, people like to give themselves a time off, which is great because we live in a time of stress. Two, the pleasure of receiving a massage itself. If you don't already know, receiving massages are amazing. One of my clients told me that on my table he discovered or experienced a new sense of peace. And this is coming from a retired man. So anyways, third, people like to come back because they enjoy my personality, which is totally understandable. For anyone who receives massages regularly, of course, most people choose a certain therapist, not only because of their skill, but because of their social interaction. And fourth, people like to come get massages because they want to learn more about their bodies and the way it works, so that they can learn how to release their own tensions by themselves or prevent them anyway. So those are the 4 main points. Off the top of my head, another reason why people would want to come receive massages would be to remove tension, of course. Yeah, that's really it. Those are the 4 or 5 main reasons. So, factors that diminish the relevance of my data. There are a lot of them, unfortunately. But because all these people are different, and because people are people, I can't control everything in my study, and I will not hold people against their will to come get massages. So there are 9 points. Hopefully these don't discourage you from taking my study into account, but here we go. So 1, it's hard to tell if the habits build up long enough, or if the habits do stay. Because I'm not following people for more than 6 months, it's hard for me to tell if these changes actually do stay. because I can't follow up with people for more than 6 months. I would love to follow up with more people and study more people and see how my massage affects more people, because that would um, give my study more credibility, even if there's so many factors that diminish that hinder my data, that hinder the effectiveness of my research. So one, I can't follow up with people very long. Two, a lot of people tend to miss their appointments. Totally normal. Life happens, I understand, whether it's work related, home related, family, whether it's illness or the weather itself. I'm just going to change this music here because it really bothers me. So the weather, yeah. Let's put some of Alchemist. So the weather, just the weather alone has a strong effect on us. Because of the winter arriving, there's less sun. It's colder, so people feel more dull. And I noticed that in the beginning of October and during the end of December, people are busier at work for some reason. Not sure what, but this is actually good for me because you're going through certain stresses that come and go, and I get to see how the massage helps you. What isn't beneficial, though, is the fact that I wasn't able to sort of create an image of them sooner enough to see how they're coping with the new stresses. Do you see what I mean? Anyways, so third, people know how to talk themselves out of responsibility. Totally normal. We all get it. I mean, we all do it, whether we know it or not. So, how do they do this? Well, by blaming things external to them, blaming situations or people for things they can or can't do, being too optimistic or being not optimistic enough is hindering and unfavorable in your self-improvement. Denial. A lot of people are inconsiderate of even just the possibilities that maybe their perceptions on certain things aren't what they are. And last but not least, detachment. A lot of people tend to tell themselves they don't care about certain things, but often this is a coping mechanism, well, to not cope. So detachment, aka ignorance, it's kind of a strong word, detachment. Anyways, I hope you get what I mean. Fourth, lack of stress. Lack of stress or being too comfortable in any situation, such as work, causes people to be immobile, causes immobility, because people like to stay in their comfort zones. They do not adapt to new things or greater things. Because they don't adapt to different things constantly, or because they're not used to adapting to new things, they build this fear of not taking risks. That's what I noticed anyway in my subjects. Fourth, Or fifth, people don't feel an urge or take interest in making any changes in their lives. Why? Either they don't want anything bad enough, or they ignore their stressors totally instead of acknowledging them. Again, this relates to detachment. Why don't they feel an urge? Because they're too comfortable, or they don't acknowledge their stresses. Six, people who spend the majority of their time alone have a hard time moving forward. By this, I mean because people spend the majority of their time alone, they don't express their experiences to people, or even have an opinion different from theirs, or they just simply have no one to help them. I know a lot of people choose to be alone most of the time, and I can see why. Like, I understand why people would choose to be alone, but sometimes you have to have people. You have to be able to look up to someone, or to look up to, just because it helps. It helps to talk about what you're going through. Even if they don't say their opinions on your experiences, just the fact that you're hearing yourself out loud talk about these experiences, you, for example, could hear how ridiculous you sound, for example, or how great things are when you say them out loud. Seventh, people who don't show all their cards because certain aspects of their lives are too intimate. It's totally normal. I cannot force you to tell me everything. If you're a professional, it's normal for you to have to keep a certain image of yourself. That or insecurities will stop you from telling me certain things, but you don't have to. 8, people only pay attention to their bodies when they're in pain, or during or after a physical activity. Not everyone exercises or plays sports or anything like that. And not everybody has body pains, to be honest. Not that they don't have body pains, but they're so used to ignoring these little feelings of discomfort that they're unaware of their pains. 9, people tend to talk in general terms, tend to talk very broadly when it comes to positive things that happen in their lives, which is unfortunate, but what can we do? That's what most of we are. Focus on the negative stuff. So again, people talk in general terms when it comes to positive things, as well as family matter. Again, that has to do with things being too intimate. But my point here is a lot of people have a lot more to say when it comes to their stressors. I mean, it isn't a bad thing for them to know a lot about their stressors, because that's what my study is about. But it's a little bit sad for me to know that you know so much more about the negative things and the positive things that are going on in your lives. So there's that list of common characteristics that diminish the relevance of my research. Now, on to the best parts. The 4 or 5 things I was able to observe in most of my subjects. Before I start, I would like to mention that 6 out of 8 of you have been able to achieve your initial goals. Before we started the study, I asked each and every one of them why they came here and what it is they want, what it is they expect to gain from the study. And 6 out of 8 of you got those done. So congratulations. Félicitations. 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 Now, 5 out of 8 of you increased. 5 out of 8 of you show an engagement in health. Whether it's exercising more, losing weight by cutting down sugar, for example, paying attention to the quality of food you're eating. 5 out of 8 of you showed that. Of course, changes in diet as well as exercise mostly happen more consistently during the end of the study, which is totally normal. People don't develop habits in a short period of time. So again, it would be great for some of you guys to get back at me, just so I know what it's like for you to, just so I know if you guys actually maintain these healthy habits. So as I was saying, the progression is pretty slow, which is totally normal. People are on and off when it comes to watching their diet or exercising more, but the effort is still there, so that's great. 2, people have been feeling less pain, and some people have been sleeping better after only 3 sessions. So people have been feeling less pain after 3 sessions, but the sleeping better part is not only because of they feel less pain, but because they've been exercising also. And why this is, I think, is because the combination of the massage and the exercise, it favors movement in your body, in your system. So the physical exercise would be active movement, and the massage would be passive movement, because I am transferring liquids and tissues throughout your body. 3, there was an increase in awareness in body sensations. So 6 out of 8 of you have now a better sense of your bodies. This is so great. Whether it's knowing your tensions, knowing where your tensions are, knowing your strengths, of course, as well as your weaknesses, and having a better idea of what your range of movements are. For example, one of my subjects discovered that he was able to do more work than he thought he would. Of course, I'm going to explain that a little more in detail, but he discovered that he was a lot more able than he thought he was. Another one of my subjects learned that when you stop doing physical exercise for a certain amount of time and then you get right back on it without the progression, that it's important to stretch because your body isn't used to that intensity of physical activity. Which is great, because if he didn't notice the effect of what stretching alone has on him, he wouldn't stretch at all. And hopefully now he is stretching a lot more. So that's 6 out of 8 of you. 6 out of 8 of you have an increase of body awareness. 4, there's been an increase in productivity and emotional responsibility in my subjects. And I put these two together just because I've noticed that the increase of productivity, people who showed an increase of productivity also show an increase of responsibility. So that's 5 out of 8. So for people who didn't really change, or for people who didn't intend on improving their performance, I know for sure that they've been affected at least subconsciously, whether it's they're dreaming more. Some of them of course they gave me details on what these dreams are, or taking a step back and reevaluating themselves and their goals, just so they can have a clearer vision again of what their goals are. So yeah, people who are more productive also are more responsible of their emotions. Thus, those who develop a better sense of self instantly has better control. Knowing your body more would make you knowing your body more makes you want to work on it so you can be more performing, right? That, or because you know your body more, you work on your own tensions, or you prevent tensions from firing. And because you feel less pain in your body, well, you know how to use it. You know how to use it to not feel these pains. So you have more control over your body. And because you have more control over your body, then you're more productive. And when you're more productive, you learn to tame your anger, I suppose. Because you need to get things done, right? So an increase of body awareness and emotional responsibility, to me, instantly increases your self-confidence. And because you know yourself better, you're more confident of yourself. You do more things. You take more risks. And taking more risks allow more chances of you discovering things about yourself. And the more you learn about yourself, the more you also learn about others. The more you learn, the more you're able to sort of steer the wheel, as one might call it. There you go. The 4 main points to remember is that by receiving massages from me on a regular basis, you will know your body better. You'll have a better sense of discomforts in your body. You will feel less pain. You will sleep better if you exercise. If you pay attention to your sleep, because obviously you won't sleep better if you're gonna sleep at 5 in the morning and wake up at 7. And there will just be a boost of confidence, because not only because of the productivity and emotional responsibility, but because you're allowing yourself to be manipulated on a table by me. Of course, it's in a private space, but there isn't a lot of um, there isn't a lot of interaction out there the way I interact with people in my work. So that, I mean, I can't explain how, but I think that for sure breaks certain barriers. And all in all, I just think massage is great. And so there you go, there you have it. For those who are interested, I am conducting my study again. If you want, I would consider this more as a program. For anyone who wants to build healthier habits, or simply know themselves better, you are welcome to come. I'm offering, instead of 10 this time, I'm offering 6 massages for, again, a span of 3 to 4 months. And then when those 6 massages are done, if you are interested, I would offer 6 more for that same price. So if you have any goals that you want to achieve health-wise, let me know. Maybe I can help you. And yeah, 2017, guys, it's all about, well, not that it's all about bettering yourself. That's every year, all the time. But you know, new year, new you, right? Come in, do yourself a favor, treat yourself. I wish you guys much love. I wish you guys positivity, but I mostly wish you guys strength. There's a lot going out there, I understand, and strength is important, you know. I wish you strength, courage. Just believe in yourselves, guys. You got this.